Question 1. Where did the Israelites assemble before the Lord? A. Jerusalem. B. Mizpah. C. Bethel. D. Gibeah. Answer: B. Mizpah. Question 2. How many armed foot soldiers were present in the assembly? A. 26,000. B. 700. C. 400,000. D. Answer: C. 400,000. Question 3. Who was asked to explain the criminal act? A. A Benjaminite leader. B. The Levite husband. C. A Gibeonite. D. Answer: B. The Levite husband. Question 4. What happened to the Levite's concubine in Gibeah? A. She ran away. B. She was hidden. C. She was raped and died. She returned to her family. Answer: C. She was raped and died. Question 5. What did the Levite do with his concubine's body? A. Buried it in Gibeah. B. Took it to Mizpah. C. Cut her into pieces and sent them through Israel. D. Burned her remains. Answer: C. Cut her into pieces and sent them through Israel. Question 6. What was the Israelites' response to the Levite's story? A. They ignored it. B. They sent a peace envoy. C. They gathered as one to act. D. They exiled the Benjaminites. Answer: C. They gathered as one to act. Question 7. How did the Israelites organize their response to Gibeah? A. Random volunteers. B. By casting lots. C. Tribal leaders chose. D. Only priests went. Answer: B. By casting lots. Question 8. What was the proposed ratio of provision suppliers? A. 1 of 1,000. B. 100 of 10,000. C. 1 of 10. 100. Answer: D. 10 of 100. Question 9. What did the Israelites demand from Benjamin? A. The destruction of Gibeah. B. Hand over the criminals. C. Tribute. D. Apology. Answer: B. Hand over the criminals. Question 10. What was Benjamin's response to the demand? A. They surrendered. B. They ignored it. C. They prepared for battle. D. They echoes. Answer: C. They prepared for battle. Question 11. How many armed men did Benjamin muster? A. 600. B. 7,000. C. 26,000. D. 400,000. Answer: C. 26,000. Question 12. How many picked left-handed men could sling stones accurately? A. 700. B. 600. C. 1000. D. Answer: A. 700. Question 13. How many armed men did Israel muster apart from Benjamin? A. 600,000. B. 400,000. C. 300,000. D. 100,000. Answer: B. 400,000. Question 14. Who was chosen to go first into battle against Benjamin? A. Reuben. B. Levi. C. Judah. D. Ephraim. Answer: C. Judah. Question 15. How many Israelites died in the first battle? A. 18,000. B. 25,100. C. 22,000. D. Answer: C. 22,000. Question 16. What did Israel do after the first defeat? A. Retreated permanently. B. Changed tactics. C. Wept and inquired of the Lord. Sent messengers to Benjamin. Answer: C. Wept and inquired of the Lord. Question 17. What was the result of the second battle? A. Israel won. B. Benjamin surrendered. C. 18,000 Israelites died. Truce was formed. Answer. C. 18,000 Israelites died. Question 18. What did Israel do before the third battle? A. Made alliances. B. Fled to Egypt. C. Fasted and offered sacrifices. Sent spies. Answer. C. Fasted and offered sacrifices. Question 19. Who ministered before the ark during this time? A. Moses. B. Eli. C. Phinehas. D. Joshua. Answer. C. Phinehas. Question 20. What did God promise before the third battle? A. Defeat. B. Victory. C. More trials. D. A covenant. Answer. B. Victory. Question 21. How did Israel approach the third battle? A. Direct assault. B. Retreating to Bethel. C. Setting an ambush. D. Peace. Answer. C. Setting an ambush. Question 22. What was the Benjaminites' initial impression during the third battle? A. Confident of victory. B. Ready to surrender. C. Afraid and fled. D. Overwhelmed by numbers. Answer. A. Confident of victory. Question 23. What signaled the main attack by Israel? A. A trumpet sound. B. A fire. C. A smoke column. D. A priest. Answer. C. A smoke column. Question 24. What happened when the Benjaminites saw the smoke? A. They attacked harder. B. They praised God. C. They panicked. D. Surrendered. Answer. C. They panicked. Question 25. What direction did the Benjaminites flee? A. Toward Bethel. B. Into the sea. C. Toward the wilderness. D. Toward. Answer. C. Toward the wilderness. Question 26. How many Benjaminites were slain in total that day? A. 18,000. B. 5,000. C. 25,100. 600. Answer. C. 25,100. Question 27. How many escaped to the rock of Rimmon? A. 1,000. B. 300. C. 600. D. 100. Answer. C. 600. Question 28. How long did the survivors stay at the rock of Rimmon? A. 1 year. B. 2 months. C. 4 months. D. 6. Answer. C. 4 months. Question 29. Where did the Israelites inquire of the Lord? A. Jerusalem. B. Bethel. C. Hebron. D. Mizpah. Answer. B. Bethel. Question 30. What offerings did Israel make before the third battle? A. Grain offerings. B. Peace offerings and burnt offerings. C. Sin offerings. D. None. Answer. B. Peace offerings and burnt offerings. Question 31. How did the Israelites trick the Benjaminites in the final battle? A. Surrounded them. B. Sent spies. C. Drew them out of the city. D. Used flaming arrows. Answer. C. Drew them out of the city. Question 32. What location was used to draw Benjamin into open battle? A. Baal Tamar. B. Hebron. C. Shiloh. D. Answer. A. Baal Tamar. Question 33. What was the fate of the city of Gibeah? A. Spared. B. Destroyed by sword. C. Captured and taxed. D. Answer. B. Destroyed by sword. Question 34. What was the agreed signal for Israel to attack? A. Horn blast. B. Priest's shout. C. Cloud of smoke. D. Arrows. Answer: C. Cloud of smoke. Question 35. Where did Israel pursue Benjamin after the ambush? A. To Shiloh. B. To Gibeah. C. To Mount Horeb. D. Answer: B. To Gibeah. Question 36. How many Benjaminites were cut down along the roads? A. 1,000. B. 3,000. C. 5,000. D. 10,000. Answer: C. 5,000. Question 37. What was the total number of casualties for Benjamin that day? A. 25,100. B. 22,000. C. 30,000. D. 18,000. Answer: A. 25,100. Question 38. What did the Israelites do to the remaining towns of Benjamin? A. Taxed them. B. Spared them. C. Burned them. D. Answer: C. Burned them. Question 39. How many times did Israel go to battle before winning? A. Once. B. Twice. C. Thrice. D. 4. Answer: C. Thrice. Question 40. Why did Benjamin lose the final battle? A. Inferior weapons. B. Betrayal. C. Israel trusted in their ambush. D. Food. Answer: C. Israel trusted in their ambush. Question 46. The Israelites went up and wept before the Lord until the evening. Judges chapter 20 verse 23. What prompted this reaction? A. The death of the concubine. B. Defeat battle. C. Rejection by Benjamin. D. Famine in the land. Answer: B. Defeat in the first battle. Question 47. They fasted that day until evening. Then they offered burnt offerings. Judges chapter 20 verse 26. Where did this happen and who was involved? A. Mizpah, all Israel. Gibeah, priests only. C. Bethel, the whole army of Israel. D. Gilgal, the Levites. Answer: C. Bethel, the whole army of Israel. Question 48. Go up. For tomorrow I will give them into your hand. Judges chapter 20 verse 28. Who said this and to whom? A. God to Phinehas. B. Phinehas to Israel. C. God to Israel. D. Phinehas to the Benjaminites. Answer: C. God to Israel. Question 49. The main body of the Israelites drew back its battle line to Baal Tamar. Judges chapter 20 verse 33. What was happening during this moment? A. Israel was fleeing in panic. Israel was setting a trap. C. Benjamin was attacking from the rear. D. Gibeah was being fortified. Answer: B. Israel was setting a trap. Question 50. When the cloud, a column of smoke, began to rise out of the city. Judges chapter 20 verse 40. What did this signal? A. Israel's surrender. B. Benjamin's ambush. C. Start of the battle. D. Signal for main Israel force to attack. Answer: D. Signal for main Israel force to attack.